Big, it's the way to go. Eat a fig, not a pig, let your kindness show. If it's your wig or a jig or a swig, do you dig? Big, it's the way to go. It's Big Fat Vegan Radio.
When something's fat, there's a lot to show. It's gotta be fat to help the movement grow. Making fat loud chat that won't be flat. It's fat, and here's our show. It's Big Fat Vegan Radio.
I just got that vegan glow, like a drag queen calling Patrick-Goudreau. I'm a YouTube vegan cooking up good eating. Veganism makes me glow. It's Big Fat Vegan Radio.
All right, vegans, all together now. When something's fat, there's a lot to show. It's gotta be fat to help the movement grow. Making fat loud chat that won't be flat. It's fat,
it's the way to go.
It's Big Fat Vegan Radio.
Hey everyone, welcome to Big Fat Vegan Radio. We're podcasting from East Coast to West Coast to discuss veganism in all of its glory. I'm here with Ben Strothman, otherwise known as Honey LeBronx, everyone's favorite vegan drag queen.
And I'm here with Laura Yaz, vegan writer and entertainment know-it-all.
You can check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube by searching for Big Fat Vegan Radio.
And you can also follow along with our show notes at bigfatveganradio.com.
We have got a very special show for you today.
Very special indeed. Welcome to our second fundraising episode. Woo! What? Oh my God, Marie. Laura?
Yeah.
I forgot to hit record.
What? Really?
Can we start over?
Did you really?
JK! I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, we're recording. That was more funny for me than it was for the audience, and definitely more funny than it was for Laura, but that was fun for me.
It actually wasn't that bad because we'd only said like two things.
Yeah.
You can only imagine how upset I would be if you said it at the end.
In the words of the late, great Amy Grant, I know she's still alive, but it takes a little time sometimes to turn the Titanic around. Unless, of course, you're the actual Titanic, in which case you're screwed.
Yeah, that thing's not turning any direction.
So, do you want to break this down for us, Laura?
Break it down?
Don't break it down. I'm going to break it down.
I'm going to break it down.
I love that we are now podcasters and rappers. White rappers. We should wear gold chains around our necks. I'm
going to break it down. We're recording a podcast. It costs a lot of money.
I'm not even awake enough to rap. It's only 9:38 p.m. in New York time, and I've been awake for 2.5 hours total.
It costs a lot of money to record a podcast.
Okay, Snoop Yaz.
Hey, it's Snoop Lion.
Snoop Lion?
It is now, right? He's Snoop Lion now? I didn't imagine that. I read that somewhere. Anyway. Yeah, so, we've talked about this before, and we talked about it again. One of my pet peeves is constantly being pestered for money while I listen to podcasts. So we like to do these special fundraising episodes dedicated to thanking our listeners for all your support and also letting you know how you can help support us, and then also offering you some perks in exchange for supporting us. We have all sort of the general costs that are associated with podcasting, like equipment and web hosting. I don't really speak internet, so I don't really say that right because Ben does all that stuff. But anyway, all that stuff costs money. But we're also the other thing I'm trying to say is that Ben and I are trying to do stuff with the show that, we're trying to get the message out there. We're trying to stay active and use our funds to support other activists.
Well, yeah, I know that a lot of other vegan podcasts or projects or bloggers and whatnot have always started off a lot of big projects they had by doing a big Kickstarter. Laura's I thought your camera froze, but you have actually just achieved intense stillness for a moment. I imagine
Do you want me to be honest? Do you want me to be honest?
What?
Do you want to know what's happening over here?
Sure. What? You're reading something on your phone?
I was texting someone.
She's texting someone while I'm talking.
I was texting. I apologize. I know I should be focused.
I thought you got a new inspirational cat poster, and you were like, "Hang in there, yeah, hang in there, indeed." And
just for the next 40 minutes.
Speaking of hanging in there, we have indeed been hanging in there by a shoestring and
it's
a
the
prayer.
Truth.
We really, we started this podcast on just a chickpea and a chance, really. But I know that a lot of
garbanzo bean in a dream.
A lot of friends of ours were smart enough to kickstart projects like these where they're like, hey, I'm going to launch Big Fat Vegan Radio, a new podcast. I'm going to need some capital. Or
we're in the hole is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, we really are in the hole so far. And I feel like this is the kind of stuff I don't want our listeners to have to be burdened with or have to know. I know,
me too, but it's the truth. And then also I feel like we should, we also really want to be giving back to the community with these funds we raise. That's really a priority of ours, is to make a donation with the funds donated to us. And so,
But so far, having started this podcast, the podcast itself is definitely still in the red. It would be awesome to get the podcast to a point where it's in the black ink, which for those of you like me who know nothing about money means we're no longer operating at a negative balance.
Right.
We now have a prudent reserve so that we know we can keep the podcast going and we can start doing cool stuff with it. And
then also we can hopefully not have to... it'll free us up a little bit because then we can, you know what I mean? We can
do more with it. We can take on bigger projects. Doing our live show recently was really kind of a big thing because for Laura, that involved taking off from work. It involved
2 days.
Traveling
it
expenses.
took 2 days off work.
We didn't bat an eye at doing it because it was like, it's such an awesome opportunity. How are we going to say no, even if it means coming out of pocket a bit? So when I was a new vegan and listening to podcasts and I would always hear them talking about supporting the podcast, honestly, in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't get it. You're sitting down at your computer recording your voice. I don't understand what kind of expenses go into it. But it is at the point where it is costing us money to keep the podcast going. And it would be awesome to have that kind of support behind us. If I could turn back time, I would be Cher. But also, if I could turn back time, I would have done a Kickstarter project for this before we'd started, because then we would have had some capital.
Well, but also, the other thing is that which we're about to start talking about, is that I'm very passionately dedicated to trying to get great perks for those who donate. Yeah. And I hope that we got, one of our listeners who won one of the cookbooks in the last fundraiser. She was so sweet. She sent me this email saying that she's just totally in love with the cookbook. Like that kind of a thing, plus all the discount codes. I'm really working hard because I really want people to get those perks. Because I feel like, frankly, I've donated to a lot of stuff and I don't feel like I get that much in return sometimes. And it's frustrating. And then I hear them complaining about needing money, and that annoys me. So what I'm trying to say is here, we're trying to give back at all times, and we want to know what you think and what you like and what you don't like, and these are our ideas, but we are totally open to exploring anything that you think is a good idea also.
Yeah. And I was also considering getting a poodle and a really expensive fancy designer drug habit. So I actually am
thinking about getting a dog.
No, are you really?
Yeah.
I want a cat so bad I can taste it.
But are you terribly allergic?
I am terribly allergic, so I'm just not going to do it because my love of being able to lay down in my bed and not worry about getting cat hair on my face.
Yeah.
My love of that is honestly greater than my love of... No, it's not greater than my love of having a cat because I'm a cat lady.
I hear you. I'm a cat lady too, but I'm thinking about getting a dog because I can take my dog to work with me.
Yeah. And I actually just wanted to get an orca and keep it in our bathtub.
Oh, I wouldn't mind a bunny. Are you allergic to bunnies?
I don't know. But, I used to love amphibians and reptiles growing up. I used to have frogs. And the frog is the perfect pet in my opinion. But now that I know what I know, like dogs, cats, bunnies, fine. For pets, that's fine. but just about any other pet involves basically them going and capturing them in the wild, where so many get killed, and it's just so exploitive.
There's
and
no frog rescue?
I don't think there's a frog rescue. In fact, did you know frogs are basically
Googling.
frog? Is there really?
It's worth Googling.
You're worth Googling.
I'm just,
you really,
thank you, I am
really
actually.
are.
A couple pages come up.
You really are. Do you know what I've started doing at Lucky Cheng's when I go up to my tables? I start by saying, all right, who can hand me an iPhone with the browser open and ready to Google something? Whoever does it first gets a special prize. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're all wrestling to hand me their iPhone. And when they hand it to me, I Google Honey LeBlanc's arrest, and then I walk away. Yes, I am basically pimping out the story of me getting arrested for blocking traffic for civil disobedience for gay rights. I'm basically pimping out my activism experience so that they will be moved to give me more money. But you know what?
So let me ask you a question. If I was at your table, I have a Google app on my phone. I would be able to do that very quickly. I would just touch my Google app and then hand you the phone. Would I win usually? Probably,
yeah. Unless I was confused by what you're handing me, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. Get
it
out
says
of here.
Google as a search bar. It's pretty clear.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, then, yes, you would win. You would win.
I should go out to eat at Lucky Cheng's.
Well,
Ben, look, why don't you tell all of our listeners about our exciting new membership options?
Yes, here are some of the things. You know that Laura and I are two great big fat vegans, and we love to eat. So in addition to our open donation thingamajiggerma, where you can basically go to the main page of our website. At the top right, there's a big, shiny, yellow, glittery button that seems to be beckoning you, that says donate. So you can go there to donate whatever sizable amount on our website.
That's a one-time donation button. You can do any dollar amount at any time.
You can do any dollar amount, anything from like $10,000 and up. I'm just kidding. You can do any dollar amount you want.
$10,000 and down.
$10,000 down, and then only $1 a month after that, huh? No, but really, you can give us whatever you want, and for any amount that you give us, no matter what the amount, you can give us $1, and we will thank you by giving you some awesome discount codes that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, that's really important
episode.
for me to say. I am so serious. I seriously wish that that people would be down with giving the $1 because it adds up so fast and it's so helpful.
Yeah.
And you totally get all the perks. You get all the fundraiser perks, even just for giving us $1.
And you know what? I got to say, I mean, we still, with our last fundraising episode, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who gave. And
you know what? Some people emailed and said they were sorry they couldn't give more. And all I want to say is that, like, please don't say that. It's so fine. Like, anything is so great. Any amount is so great.
The fact is, if you couldn't afford to give more than $5, then you really couldn't afford to give that $5 in the first place. But you did. And a $5 donation to me tells me that, hey, I don't really have it to give money right now, but I want to give something symbolically. And that touches me so much. And while I must say our first fundraising effort wasn't really, we didn't raise a whole heck of a lot as we would have liked to. But the fact that most of that money came from people who, hey, all I can give is $5, all I can give is $10, here you go. You know, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot of like, whoa, here's a check for $100. You know, it all came from people like you who gave what they could in hopes that it would add up. And it most certainly did add up to something substantial. We were able to give a nice little amount to the Catskill Animal Sanctuary.
And they were so sweet. We got to do it in person, and we got
at the Vegetarian Food Festival. And I don't mind actually saying, Laura and I even kicked in a little of our own money personally, just so that we could make it even more of a substantial amount. And they were really thrilled by that. So, so any amount that you give as a one-time donation, you automatically will get some discount codes. And we're going to spend the episode talking about what those discount codes you are. Also, you're going to want to make sure that you listen to this whole episode, because at the very end, you know what we do for you at the very end of our fundraiser episodes.
Another parody.
Another vegan parody song. Boom! Who gives more to their listeners than Big Fat Vegan Radio?
Nobody.
But, and I feel like this deserves a drum roll, we have come up with, I don't even have the energy to edit a drum roll into it, so just the drum roll is in your heart. And if you hear a real drum roll in your heart, go and get that checked out because it might be a heart murmur. I'm just saying. But we have decided, some of you have mentioned that it will be a kind of a fun idea to create some Big Fat Vegan memberships where you can give 5, 10, 25 a month in return for most importantly, the knowledge that you are really helping us out, because that would really help us out, and B, some added incentives. So here are the new membership options.
Also, but let me just say, I want to say a couple things about the memberships. Yeah. The first thing is that there's no time limit on the membership, and there's also no time commitment. So if you sign up for, say you sign up for $25 a month to be a member, and then in 2 months you lose your job, you can cancel right away. It's no problem. You can do any length of time that you want. You don't need to renew. It won't automatically be renewed for you. It will just be ongoing monthly deduction. And so you can do it for however long as you want. The other thing that I want to say is that you will as long as you're an active member, you will automatically always get our quarterly promotional discounts. You will get them always. The first of the month that those discounts start, you'll get them emailed to you. So every 3 months you get a fresh batch of discounts, which I think is totally awesome. I think it's a great perk, and I'm trying to get good ones, and I've been really happy with what we've been able to get so far. So I hope that people are enjoying them. And I think that's automatically what every single member gets off the bat is automatic discount codes for every fundraiser we do.
And here's the thing. First of all, we are trying to give you discount codes to things that you're going to want and things that you're actually going to be able to have some kind of a use for. We're going to mention some of the online codes that you're going to get, and they're going to be things where it's not like, oh, yay, you get a discount on such and such product, one type of product that when you need that one product, there's a discount on it. We're going to mention some online vegan stores where it's like you can get just about anything.
Well, that's one of the things like with the Hippopotheca discount that we did last time. It's a huge body care, makeup, a lot of options there. You know what I mean? Trying to keep that for everybody.
Yeah, it won't be like, oh, well, I only had a need to buy from them once. Like for that whole period that we're offering that discount, you can buy as much stuff you want through them. And you're probably going to, you could potentially save 3, 4, even 5 times the money that you donated to us.
Yeah, it's also a great excuse to get stuff that maybe you didn't want to get, because it takes the edge off the cost.
And it's a great excuse, to be honest. It's a great excuse to give a little extra money to Big Fat Vegan Radio, because think about it. You might not have $50 to give us, but you might save $100 with these discount codes, depending on what you're buying. So, we're helping you to help us in return. But we want to give discount codes that you'll actually be able to make use of. But also, this is another great reason to do the monthly membership, even if it's only $5 or $10 a month, because think about it. Last month when we did our membership, we got a lot of people who donated at the last minute, and they had all of 2 weeks to use up their discount codes, so they didn't really get their money's worth. But if you do a monthly membership, you're going to find out right off the bat. I snapped my fingers there. I don't know how well you heard it, but
it's true. You get it first of the
right
month.
Off
the second they're active, you get the codes.
The second we come up with the discount codes, right away, you'll have access to them. So that's really one of the reasons why investing $5 a month to get the discount codes earlier, you'll be able to make better use of them. And keep in mind, you might not be able to afford a membership, or you might be one of those people who can afford a membership, or maybe you can even afford, if you're already a member, you can afford to get a membership as a gift membership for a friend of yours who can't afford to get a membership.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. So here are some of the things that we have come up with as added incentives.
Yeah, extras for members.
Yeah.
Members only.
As if getting the discount codes emailed first of the month isn't a discount enough. For $5 a month, you are signing up for a Big Fat Vegan snack. And what that's going to get you, first off, every single membership level, you basically get the discount codes plus that membership level. And if you go up a membership level, you get everything that you would in the membership levels beneath it. So let's show you what that looks like. So for a snack membership, that's $5 a month, you get access to, here's where I want a big fat vegan drum roll. Secret shows! Oh yeah! What? You've asked for it. You've hinted at it. Well, you know how at the end of each episode we put a little outtake that usually comes from either a big mess up that comes during the episode, or it's something funny that we pre-recorded, or something that one of us said after we recorded. From here on out, we are going to do secret shows.
You have no idea how much footage we have.
No idea. And basically I try to edit out our swear words and cuss words, and if we say something that we shouldn't have, these secret shows, for better or for worse, are going to be unedited. It's like going to be the Oprah after the show moment. Just whatever we say before and after we edit this podcast, and whatever we take out of the podcast, we're putting it all together like a big vegan BLT. A BLT with guac.
Yeah, so it's our way of doing more episodes without doing more episodes, because we can't really do much more than what we're doing, but you'll get all the extra, you'll get everything that we trim.
Yeah, and the truth is, I mean, we can't do a whole heck of a lot more than we're doing at the moment, but the truth is, for all that we are doing, so much good stuff ends up on the cutting room floor that we're like, well, it has nothing to do with our episode. It would be fun for them to hear us talking about this, but it just doesn't fit what we're about. So we will be doing secret shows where we talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about. And it'll just be a lot of fun because Laura and I are funny. I think we're even funnier before we edit this podcast.
Well, I don't know. I'm funny. I don't know if Ben's funny.
I don't know if I'm funny. I hear often that I'm funny. So
you're all right.
I let the people decide that. So, Laura, do you want to tell them about our really cool option for $10 a month?
Sure. So the next level is Nosh. You be a big fat vegan nosher. And it's $10 a month, the membership. And that will entitle you to everything we've described so far, as well as Ben and I are going to occasionally... I don't know how frequent we'll be able to do it, but we'll do a few.
She's almost nervous to say this.
Basically, do Big Fat Vegan Mystery Science movie 3000.
Let's call it Big Fat Vegan Movie Night.
Big Fat Vegan Movie Night, sure. So what we'll do is you'll get an audio commentary from me and Ben on a movie that we watched and together, and so it's basically like you get the DVD commentary track on a movie, but it's just me and Ben watching some terrible movie or some great movie. And so, we'll send those out. I really think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that.
I'd like to say that we're deliberately going to search, at least first and foremost, we're going to search for the worst of the worst.
And also classics.
Maybe some classics. Maybe like Color Purple. I don't know.
No, not that kind of classic.
Or Color Purple Part 2. You never know. Is there a sequel to Color Purple?
I don't know. Is it Oprah?
Isn't Coming to America? Is that the sequel to Color Purple?
Oh my God, I love Coming to America.
I think that's a sequel. But so yeah, it'll be like your own Mystery Science Theater 3000, where basically we will give you an audio track that you can. It's like, what is that Dark Side of the Moon?
Yeah, it's like Dark Side of the Moon with the Wizard of Oz. Only instead, it's like us eating cheese puffs and being like, "Mah!"
You can watch a movie, and while you're watching it, you can basically have me and Laura talking over the whole movie. Like we are real.
It's like a dream come true, basically.
Like
for me.
We are real live black ladies at the movie theater sitting behind you.
We are. It's awesome.
We are.
All right, next level.
Next level. This one we call the Big Fat Vegan Value Meal.
Oh, cute.
The Big Fat Vegan Value Meal. The value meal is really going to be your best value for the buck because, of course, you're going to get the discount codes right off the bat with 90 full days to use them. You're going to get the Big Fat Vegan Movie Night, and you are going to get a very exclusive invitation to join me and Laura.
That's right, live and in person.
On a Google Hangout. So basically, we're going to do these regular little Google Hangouts. So for $25 a month, yes, you will get the discount codes, the secret shows, the movie commentary track, and you will get to hang out with me and Laura on a Google Video Hangout where me and Laura and up to 8 other Big Fat Vegan Radio members will all get to hang out like we're doing a big video hangout together. And if you're not able to join us at the actual hangout, don't worry, because the hangouts will be recorded as videos and those will be uploaded to our YouTube page where, hey, all of you skeezas who aren't joining at the Big Fat Vegan Value Meal level, you can't access those. Only our $25 a month members will be on a private page. So I want you to know that these little hangouts are an exclusive No Girls Allowed club. There are girls allowed. You are one of our special God's chosen. I think we're going to call this level of membership God's chosen. We're only if you're one of God's chosen. You get to join us in the hangout, and if you can't make the hangout, you'll still get the video of the hangout. Yeah. And I might even hold up your picture in front of my face and talk like I'm you, just to make it seem like you're there in spirit.
And you can email us anything you want us to discuss or whatever.
Yeah, like, hey guys, I can't join, but I want you to give a shout out to so and so, or I want you to start this vicious rumor about so and so and get and spill the tea. It'll be like a great big RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked episode. It'll basically be Big Fat Vegan Radio Untucked.
Yes. So the next 2 levels are these crazy levels that I just did for pretend, because I don't imagine that anyone will ever join at that level.
Hey, we are shooting for the moon or the stars.
Yeah, right. Why not?
Whichever one's further away.
So this next level is called the Big Fat Vegan Feast level. It's $50 a month. Ben wants me to say something about prostitution. I've got nothing. Anyway, so you get everything we've described. I feel like we're talking so much. I feel like this is totally like we're like Big Fat Vegan QVC right now. You get everything we've described, and you also get to be married to Honey LeBronx on Facebook for 1 month.
Ta-da! Yes, basically, Honey LeBronx will prostitute her relationship status to whoever is crazy enough to give $50 a month. And here's the beauty of it. For as long as you are giving $50 a month, Honey LeBronx will be your bride on Facebook. So, or whatever relationship status you want to call it. I will be your sister.
It can be complicated.
I will be your mother. It can be complicated. I can be your wife. I can be whatever Facebook will allow us to be. And then the great thing about that is, keep in mind, once it's time that you need to bring it to an end, and you're like, I can't afford $50 a month anymore, you get to break up with Honey LeBronx on Facebook. All of your friends will see Honey LeBronx and insert your name here are no longer going out. And you will get like consolation from your friends. They'll be like, oh my God, what happened? I thought you and Honey were like a thing.
Thought you were dating that redhead.
Mm-hmm. So boom. And you'll get everything else before it. Think how awesome it will be to join our Google Hangout knowing that you are my better half. I'll be like, oh, hi, honey. And you'll say, hi, honey, back to me. And I'm like, oh, how funny. You're calling me honey because it's my name. And I'm calling you honey because you're my spouse. And our last level, not that I can imagine anyone out there really wants to go ahead and do this, but we are going to call this the Big Fat Vegan Gorge. For $100 a month, and remember, however long you want to do this, we'll do this. And if you ever have to end it, we'll end it. But for $100 a month, we will name you at the end of our episode.
Of every episode.
At the end of every episode, we will name you as an official sponsor of Big Fat Vegan Radio.
And so obviously you get all the other level perks.
Obviously you will get everything else. Everything else. But for $100 a month, everyone out there will be able to thank you for bringing us Big Fat Vegan Radio. Boom.
Yep.
So there
all right. Well, that is a lot of information.
That's a lot of info.
I hope that everyone, we're just going to see how these memberships develop and grow, see how people respond and how many members we get. And things may, organically change and grow over time, but ideally we want to have perks at every level that you get consistently, as well as the quarterly fundraiser perks, which I hope is good. I hope that sounds good to you. It sounds good to me, so I hope that people like it.
Yeah, again, we're trying to do stuff that if we were our own podcast listeners, which
Yes.
frankly I am, but I don't care who listens to this. I do this podcast so I can listen to my own podcast on my iPod. But we're doing things that we imagine we would want if we were donating.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is what you want, let us know. If this isn't what you want, if you have other ideas for, I would give $50 a month if.
Yeah.
And as long as it doesn't require me or Laura getting naked, we'll do it. So
True story. Ben will probably take his clothes off.
True story. I get naked on a daily basis. I don't know about you, but every single day I get naked at some point. It happens.
I actually do too. It's shocking.
Isn't that funny to think? Next time,
Considering how,
go out, go throughout your
conservative I can
day
be.
today and look at everyone and remember to yourself, every one of these people I deal with, there is a period of their day where they are naked. They are butt naked at some point.
Gross. That's gross. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless they're hot, then it's not gross.
All right.
As always, we'll be giving 10% of all the proceeds we make in the month of April to a farm sanctuary. And this fundraiser's selected sanctuary is the Heartland Farm Sanctuary in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm really excited that we are helping out Heartland Farm Sanctuary because, as you know, that's the sanctuary in my home state that I just went and visited. And hey, being there in person and seeing with my own eyes, I know exactly which animals, little Lola and Lucy, the little pigs that don't like each other, and the beautiful sheep that I was massaging in Ben Vegan Strothman's profile photo. These are the faces of the animals that will be benefiting from your April donations, and I'm so excited to help them out. So just a little bit about the Heartland Farm Sanctuary. They were founded in 2009. They're a non-profit organization dedicated to helping homeless farm animals in Wisconsin and building connections between animals and vulnerable youth. They created the Heartland to provide a safe, peaceful environment where youth and farm animals can come together to heal, grow, and have fun. Many children in Wisconsin today face significant life challenges such as physical, emotional, or cognitive developmental delays, a history of delinquent behavior, or other detrimental life choices, and an abusive or otherwise troubling home life. And research has shown that these children can benefit tremendously by taking part in animal-assisted therapeutic activities, such as those programs developed by Heartland using the farm animals that they help. Their mission is to provide care for farm animals in need and nurture people through the human-animal bond and to foster respect and kindness towards animals and each other. And it's so beautiful, you guys, because a lot of these youth, they will come to do a volunteer day like I did when I was there in January. And these kids get to go and pet an animal, and it's so therapeutic and healing for them. And hey, let's face it, what a wonderful way to build that connection in the minds of children that, oh my gosh, these are the animals that I might otherwise be eating. How beautiful that I get to actually come and see them and pet them and form a relationship with the pig. So you can check them out at heartlandfarmsanctuary.org. Heart spelled H-E-A-R-T, heartlandfarmsanctuary.org.
All right, so like we did last time, we just wanted to use this sort of airtime to just sort of read a couple emails from our listeners that have maybe gotten a little lost under the radar, and and just respond to your lovely emails.
Yeah, as always, you can find us at bigfatveganradio.com. You can call us at 315-VEGAN-01. That's 315-834-2601. You can email us at bigfatveganradio@gmail.com. Tweet us at bigfatvegans. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/bigfatveganradio. And of course, you can just search for Big Fat Vegan Radio on Facebook.
Yes.
So, Laura, why don't you take this first email from our fabulous listener, Jenny with an I. Jenny with an I.
Hey, Ben and Laura. I recently discovered your podcast and have had so much fun listening and learning from you both. I'm a longtime vegetarian, 16 years, transitioning to a vegan lifestyle. I've been egg-free since I heard about egg production, in particular what happens to male baby chicks, horrifying, and have been slowly reducing dairy over the last several weeks. Your awesome information, humor, and vegan enthusiasm have inspired me so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you've touched on this subject already, but if you can give more tips for vegans who don't live in an awesome vegan city like New York, it would be so helpful. I live in the sticks in central Illinois in a college town with one vegetarian cafe that has few vegan options. The only other vegan I know is a cousin in Denver. Needless to say, I'm a bit of an oddity around here. My husband is also transitioning to veganism. We are reducing dairy from our son's diet as well. They've been vegetarian from birth. Any additional tips or suggestions are always appreciated. Thanks for what you do. I've already learned so much and love hearing about others in the vegan community. Ben, I took your advice about downloading all of Colleen's podcasts and am listening to them in chronological order. So helpful. And Laura, I'm taking your advice to be vegan at home first. Most of our meals are eating at home anyway, but I'm trying not to put additional pressure on myself when occasionally eating out. I know I'll get there soon. Sorry for writing a novel. I'm just so excited about this lifestyle and your podcast. Keep them coming, and as frequently as possible, all the best, Jenny.
Jenny.
Oh,
that's
so
wonderful.
Awesome.
First off, I do want to say, we really don't appreciate people writing novels. Jenny, how dare you? And don't you know we have better things to do with our time? And
I know, come on, it's like 3 paragraphs.
It's so not a novel. But I mean, that's basically a haiku. But no, if you want to gush, please gush. That to me is good as money. I mean, hearing people telling us the value that they get from this podcast, you know. I gotta say, that's exactly how to do it. First off, after 16 years of vegetarianism, I would imagine it can be kind of hard to want to transition into veganism because a lot of people go vegetarian and stay that way and feel like, meh, I'm doing enough.
Yeah.
But, slowly reducing the dairy, that's a great way to lean into it.
Yeah, I wanted to say just a few things for the, as far as for your 2 sons go, or maybe it's just 1 son. No, it sounds like she has 2 sons. For me with the girls, a lot of times what I do is I use, the main switches you make our milk. Obviously, they drink a non-dairy milk, and we do non-dairy yogurt, which they love. They don't seem to taste any difference with that. They love that. I'm sure your boys would feel the same way. Coconut yogurt tastes great, and I actually feel like that's pretty easy to find. Soy yogurt and coconut yogurt. And then the other thing I was gonna say is if you can't find vegan cheese where you're at in your small town, it actually isn't a bad idea if you go on one of those stores like Vegan Essentials or Vegan Store, and you can buy like huge things of Daya and just put them in the freezer, because Daya is really great in the freezer. And if you're just going to be making like quesadillas or cooking it and stuff, then it's fine to go straight from frozen to the pan, and it lasts super long in the freezer. So I think you can get like a 5-pound bag of Daya online and then freeze it. So that's just a thought if you can't find non-dairy cheese.
I keep my Daya in the freezer, and honestly, this won't sound like, I'm sure Daya would be like, don't say that about our product, but like, I just take it out of the bag, dump it into a big Tupperware, which is probably not the best way to store it. Like, you should keep it in a bag inside of the Tupperware, but like, my Daya most definitely is freezer burned. Like, the way I store it is not great. I open it up and there's like ice around it. Guess what? First off, even when it's frozen, it's still really easy to scoop up a handful of it. Like, it doesn't freeze in a way that like, well, now I gotta wait for it to thaw.
It's so true. It still stays shredded, because I used to freeze mine also. Also because I like to mix the mozzarella and the cheddar together in one bag, and I would keep that bag in the freezer, and I would just use it to make quesadillas all the time for a quick dinner. And and I just kept it in a freezer bag, and I never got any freezer burn, but it's great. Yeah, it comes out shredded. He's right. It doesn't block up.
It's really easy.
Usable.
Even if it freezes together, it's really easy to like break off a chunk of it. So easy. And then I don't even.
Just try it. You'll see what we're saying. It's like great.
I don't even need to wait for it to thaw. I'll toss it in a tofu scramble. Also, you know how you find a lot of veggie burgers out there that aren't vegan because they use cheese or something or some milk product as a binder? The great thing about Daya is sometimes I'll just use it as a binder. Like you could make it and put it into like a homemade veggie burger or a homemade meatloaf or something, and it will act
Yeah, it's also
as
good
a
in
binding
biscuits.
agent.
You can make like a cheddar biscuit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, now I'm hungry, even though I just ate a full dinner. But yeah, and for just in case anyone out there doesn't know who we're talking about when we say Colleen's podcasts, we're talking, of course, about Colleen Patrick-Goudreau and her awesome podcast, Vegetarian Food for Thought, which for me was a prerequisite in going. I want to hear Barbara Walters say prerequisite and going vegan. A prerequisite, and going vegan. Because it's just such a wash of information that you're going to want to be armed with. So definitely check that out. And yeah, it just sounds like this is the way to go vegan, you know?
Yeah, great job, Jenny. It's look, I mean, I complain all the time because I basically don't have a kitchen and the town I live in has no vegetarian anything. But it takes me like an hour to get to San Francisco. I really have nothing to complain about. I can buy Daya at the grocery store down the street. I mean, I really don't have anything to complain about. So I do know that how hard it can be in the middle of nowhere. And if you're doing it with your whole family, it's really admirable. You're awesome. What you're doing is awesome.
Yeah.
Way to go.
And it sounds like she's already doing this, but I want to say, like, yes, definitely cooking most of your food at home is great. But, like, look, if you're talking about, well, I don't live in an awesome vegan town like New York. Well, when I went to Wisconsin and when I went to Iceland, I managed to stay vegan. And how did I stay vegan? Whole foods and produce and making my own stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, the bodega downstairs from me, you can find soy milk anywhere. I'm allergic to soy milk, but one day I asked them to carry almond milk. Boom. For the last 2 years, they carry almond milk. There's an almond milk vendor now.
Yeah, Ben's really right about asking for things.
From my front door.
Definitely, especially
10
small
feet
local
from my front
stores.
door.
They're really interested in getting what you want to buy.
Yeah, so definitely speak up. And you know, like when my Zen Palette closed, that's the day I realized that like 1 block from me, there was like an awesome place that sold tofu cream cheese on bagels, a place that sold bulk, you know, gluten and Daya cheese and whatnot. So just explore your community, spread the word and see who's willing to buy your stuff. But yeah, I mean, I do, you know, if you can't find vegan cheese, you might want to invest in Miyoko Shinner's book, The Artisan Vegan Cheese Cookbook.
Oh, definitely. It's a great book.
Yeah. Like, if you can find some nutritional yeast and some cashews, boom, you can make cheese at home. You can make almond milk at home. Some of these things that you think you need to live in New York City for, you can make them in bulk yourself.
It's true. That cheese cookbook is a great recommendation because I think if I'm going to be totally clear, when I first got the book, I went onto Amazon and I got all sort of the hard to find items, which are just a few random dry goods. I think it was $50 and I am like set for life. I have so much. I'll be able to make cheese like for a year.
And the last thing I was going to add, and then we'll move on. Of course, you're cooking a lot of your own food. I recently got a Vitamix, and I'm recently trying this new bean and vegetable only diet, which I've kind of been off of for the last week and a half. But I am shocked by how much awesome, healthy produce or how much awesome, healthy stuff I can cook when I started cooking out of the Forks Over Knives cookbook. It is chock full of the most delicious, like an asparagus and red pepper stir fry, like tofu lettuce wraps, which I take out the tofu and use mushrooms because I don't like them, but they're good for you. There's so much awesome food that I can make. It keeps for days in the fridge. It's so cheap, so cost effective. And honestly, like I'm not always home, so I can't just eat at home. But for $4.99 at Whole Foods, I got this big square cube insulated like lunch bag. So like when I'm working a shift at Lucky Cheng's, I can pack 2 or 3 meals in little Tupperware and I go to work. I have my little like sweet potato chips and hummus. I've got a meal. I've got so much food. Like I don't really I live in New York, but I don't end up going to all these restaurants anymore. I can really carry around a lot of my own food. So.
Yeah, it's not just restaurants, Ben, though. There's stuff in grocery stores that are way harder to find and sort of podunk places, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, and it's Jenny, it sounds like you're doing everything right.
It sounds like she's really making it work. So
we love you, Jenny.
We love you, Jenny, with an I. And now, a word from our sponsor. Hey, Laura, I feel like you've mentioned what your favorite dessert is before, but like, I just can't remember.
Is this a joke?
I mean, I feel like you enjoy marshmallows, but do you have a favorite?
You're seriously kidding me right now, aren't you?
I mean, are there even any good vegan marshmallows anyway?
Of course there are!
Oh, wait, of course! You mean, Sweet and Sarah marshmallows?
Marshmallows, Rice Krispies treats, s'mores, and much more. You can order everything from the Sweet and Sarah website, or as I like to call it, heaven.
And for our big fat vegan donors, Sweet and Sarah is offering a special one-time discount of 10% off your entire order.
That's incredible. I'm going to place an enormous order right now.
Do it! Sweet and Sarah is the best. Marshmallows never tasted so good.
sweetandsarah.com.
I love that. I love Siri. Siri, can we just agree Siri is officially our third co-host?
Okay, fine.
Beautiful. So now we have an email from Steve. Good morning, Ben /Laura. I look forward to the show and get a kick out of your chemistry and the playful way you get information out to us. Having searched vegan on iTunes and finding you, I began a more serious approach to eating and living. In 1996, I met a girl at a street fair up here in Warwick, New York. I was about 75% vegetarian at the time. This girl had such a serene, calm, healthy glow and a calming aura that I flat out asked her at the bar, "Whatever it is that you do, I want you to teach me." We dated for a while and I followed her lifestyle. Vegan only. Meditation, yoga, rowing machine, eating only in a quiet place with Eastern music, like the solarium off her kitchen filled with plants. She looked close to 10 years younger than she is. We drifted apart and I strayed from her teachings, but am generally in good shape. Drifting back into bad habits like ice cream, pizza, and sometimes eating like a 5-year-old at a birthday party contributed to gout attacks from elevated uric acid. I followed Dr. Andrew Weil's book's advice and cut meat almost out. After 16 years of being on and off gout pills and flushing with lots of water, I decided to get more disciplined about my diet and health. That is when I found you guys. I heard the first podcast and searched out a brand new vegan restaurant in Warwick. The lunch bowls are organic and varied, and a typical day is quinoa, spiced kale, Brussels sprouts, baked tofu, hummus, sweet potatoes, and fresh sauce. I do a wheatgrass shot, alkaline water, and a rejuvenation juice. I follow that up with a Claire's Garden smoothie, and life is good. I have work to do on food discipline, but I'm off the gout medication altogether, added yoga and exercise, and I love the vegan journey that you helped me start. I think of Ben whenever the one train passes 125th Street, since I've heard you talk of vegan places there. The restaurant in Warwick is a small, well-appointed place on a side street in our cute little village 60 miles from NYC. It is called the Conscious Fork, and the girls who work there and own it have been helpful in sharing the knowledge that led to a proper life. Come as my guest if you're ever up this way. 1.5 hour New Jersey Transit bus ride from Port Authority. Thank you both, Steve.
Steve, that's so inspiring. I'm so thrilled you're off your medication.
You know, I'm just going to say, Steve, if no one has ever told you this before, or if you don't do so already, you better write. You are a gifted writer. He's so descriptive, and I feel like this is someone who is one day going to be a writer. But he probably is already. So, Steve, keep writing. I really enjoyed reading your writing.
Oh, thank you so much for your email too. It's really touching. But that is, I mean, seriously, that's incredibly inspiring that you would take that action and take those steps and really change your life and change your health. That's just so inspiring.
I actually feel like I learned a lot from this email too. That's just such a nice, conscious way to eat. I don't intend to follow your friend's advice. I will continue eating my food in bed on a breakfast in bed tray while watching Golden Girls. But you do you. You do you. See, me, I do me. That's what
All
I
right,
do.
I'm going
I
to
do
read
me.
the next email. It is from Tiffany.
With an IE.
Hello, hello! I stumbled upon the Big Fat Vegan Radio podcast last week in my never-ending hunt for interesting things to listen to, and downloaded your first episode because I figured with anyone with the brains to name a station that had something decent to say, and you did! So let me say, I'm not vegan, I'm not even vegetarian. I grew up in the middle of a cornfield, Ohio. I didn't even know what vegan was until high school. I did grow up in a home where cookies absolutely did not come from the grocery store. Canning was a yearly occurrence, and burying your own sauerkraut in the backyard was a family event, which I am very grateful for. But when I went to college and traded in my 2% for soy milk, stopped eating pork and beef because it hella freaked me out, my family thought I was crazy. They thought I was going through some fad or something. Not a fad, that's just me. Anyways, not vegan, that's me. Then 2 days after I listened to your first episode, I had my first visit with a NAET practitioner and found out that as a response to the chemo and radiation I had a couple years ago, my body developed allergies to a lot of foods, including dairy, and that I have something called candida. This requires some serious changes to my diet. I know this doesn't directly correlate with being vegan, and my reasons aren't the same as yours right now, but I just want to say that even in the past week, your podcast has helped me find better foods that won't make my body angry. I've spent the past 2 days listening to Vegetarian Food for Thought, and I'm anxiously awaiting my Quick Fix Vegan and Chloe's Kitchen cookbooks to arrive on my doorstep. Anyways, I wanted to say thank you. I so appreciate that your podcast is done in such a way that doesn't ostracize non-vegans, but rather gives your thoughts and joys and struggles in a very honest, not pushy sort of way. I so appreciate your mention that even if you can't do everything, that doesn't mean you should do nothing. To up and go vegan is a little scary to me, to be honest, but hearing that it's okay to take baby steps is encouraging. Maybe my diagnosis and your podcast popped up at the same time for a reason, so thank you for being tactful, respectful, educational, and freaking entertaining. Oh my God, thank you, Tiffany.
Tiffany, I resent the implication that I am entertaining. I absolutely resent it.
No, but again, I have to say, same as with Steve, I'm so inspired by people taking action to change their life for their health. It's so inspiring and good for you. It's so hard, and it's awesome that you're doing it. You are awesome.
Yeah. I also got to say, sometimes I sense a bit of apology from people who write to us saying that they're not vegan. Look, I was not vegan when I started listening to, even before listening to Vegetarian Food for Thought, which is probably the thing that most made me become vegan. I was vegetarian when I started listening to that. I was listening to that while eating dairy and cheese and eggs. And even before that, I started listening to raw vegan radio after I first even heard about veganism. And I was still eating ground beef nachos and Taco Bell on a daily at the time. But what's more important to me than you up and going vegan is you becoming a more conscious eater. I feel like the most important thing is that you can become aware of how your eating choices affect the beings and the world around you. And I feel like you will eventually make the right choice. What's more important to me is how you get there. I know a lot of people who are like flash in the pan vegans. They just up and go vegan, sort of like as not as a means to an end, but they up and go vegan because they want to jump to that end result, but they forego the entire process. And so for them, being vegan means nothing. It means nothing more than, ta-da, look at me, I'm vegan. I'm not vegan anymore. So
yeah, but actually thinking about the way you want to live and taking steps to change your life, it's just so hard. I can't minimalize it. It's such a hard thing to do. And obviously you seem like you're really inspired, and I think it's great and awesome, and way to go.
Yeah, congratulations, Tiffany, with an IE. And now for another word from another of our sponsors.
Ben, I love your new shirt.
Jealous much?
The design is so fabulous, and I love the message, naturally.
I know. It's from Compassion Co. They are an amazing company.
How so?
Well, all of the art is hand-drawn, one of a kind. The t-shirts themselves are made from recycled organic material, and their entire production is sweatshop-free.
Wow, that's incredible.
I know, right? You can always feel good about supporting Compassion Co. But to make things even better, they're giving not 5, not 10, but a 15% discount to Big Fat Vegan donors for the month of April.
That is so great.
Isn't it? Be sure to grab yourself an eco-friendly vegan message t-shirt today. Then maybe you can look as good as I do.
CompassionCo.BigCartel.com.
Since when did our third co-host go from being Siri to being Rosie the robot from the Jetsons?
Oh, that's better. I love Rosie.
Do you know the same voice of Rosie the robot was Jean Vanderpyle, the one and only original voice of Wilma Flintstone? And did you know that my first ever boyfriend, when I moved to New York City, his name is Roger? Jean Vanderpyle, Wilma Flintstone, was his mother.
Whoa, that's pretty deep.
I dated Wilma Flintstone's son.
That is pretty deep.
So we have another email from Kara.
It's the last one, last email.
This is our last email. Aww, everyone go, aww. Even if you're listening at home and on the subway and people are watching you, and even though we won't hear it.
I also want to say, though, thanks to everyone who emails us all the time. And if we don't read your email on the show, it's just because sometimes they don't work. Like, they don't work as being an email we would read on the show. It doesn't mean that I didn't read it and love it. I read every email and I love all of them.
Yeah, we read everything that comes into us. And you never know. Who was it? Our listener, Susie from Prattville, Alabama, was it?
Oh, yeah.
If that's correct, then I get points, Susie, because that's without even having my notes in front of me. But Susie emailed us in August, and we ended up not reading her email ever, or her voicemail ever. And then, bam, all of a sudden, 7 months
on the live
later,
show.
7 months later, we used it in the live show. So you never know when your correspondence might just show up in our podcast. So this is our last email from Kara with a K. Hey, Laura and Ben and honey, smiley face. I just felt compelled to write you a note to tell you that I love your podcast, and it has totally helped me as a new vegan. I have been vegan for just a little over a month. I live in South Dakota, and my family owns a successful national ammunition factory. So as you can imagine, this has been a bit of a challenge. I don't have a tremendous amount of support and don't know any other vegans, although I'm sure there must be some. I have gotten so much great info from the two of you, and I love your vegan enthusiasm. Also, thank you for the tip to listen to Colleen Patrick-Goudreau's podcast. I am working my way through them, and they are like going to vegan college. Anyway, I appreciate your work and wish I could just give you both a big hug, Kara. Well,
Kara, I wish I could give you a big hug, too.
Kara, consider yourself hugged. You are hugged.
Aw, and you know what, Kara? Ben can really relate to that whole situation you're talking about with your family, because his family owns very successful cheesecake company.
Yeah. My mom, my mom is Susie of Susie's Cream Cheesecakes. That might mean nothing to you, but like when I say that people in Wisconsin, it's kind of like if I said, it's kind of like I said if my mom is Little Debbie, and people are like, "There's no real Little Debbie," and I'm like, well. She bequeathed me to the world. If I'm using that verb correctly.
Yeah, whatever. She's a big, important cheesecake lady, so he definitely feels you on that page.
Mm-hmm. And just so we can turn this into a more educational podcast, bequeath, verb, to leave a personal estate or one's body to a person or other beneficiary by a will.
So your mother hasn't bequeathed you anything?
Or to pass something on or leave something to someone else. So my mother definitely passed me on 34 years ago.
All right.
To the world. My mother bequeathed me. But you know that word sounds a little too close to another word.
Queef. It sounds like queef.
Oh, you said it, not me. My mother definitely queefed me to the world 34 years ago.
She did. She really did.
Mom. Oh, then there's the moment where you're praying your mom doesn't listen to your podcast.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't. I know mine
I'm
doesn't.
pretty sure she doesn't. Even though I have tried to get her to listen to it, I'm like, Mom, don't you miss me enough that you want to listen to my glorious voice while you're driving around in your new car?
Oh my God, my parents have no interest.
I love that. It will never happen. It will never happen.
Yeah,
you know
it's
how
so
I'll know
funny.
it will never happen? Mom, if the minute you get this, the minute you hear this, pick up the phone and call me and say, Ben, I heard the comment about you know what. And that call will never come. I love you, Mom.
I love you too, Mom.
Laura loves you too.
I meant my mom, who's also not listening.
Yeah. So
I think we need to go to commercial.
I think it's time for another word from one more sponsor. Laura, could you please hand me the Be Free Honey?
Sure. Nice shoes, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Could you also hand me the non-toxic whiteout? Oh, I need my Zuzu makeup bag as well. It's over there, and it's full of Zuzu products.
Sure. Where do you get all this great stuff? You must have to shop all over.
Actually, everything here I order online at the vegan store Pangea.
No way! All this stuff is from the same place?
That's right. Everything in one convenient location online. And they always have these hard-to-find items.
That is incredible.
To make it even more incredible, Pangea has donated a 10% April coupon code for the Big Fat Vegan donors.
That is so exciting! There is so much that I need.
Well, you better get shopping then.
Veganstore.com.
So, for the top 3 donors in the month of April, yes, that includes our monthly membership
Yes,
donors.
if the membership you sign up for is the top donation, that makes you the top donor.
Boom. You will get a complimentary journey through the 30-day vegan challenge by Colleen Patrick-Goudreau. Woo! And I just want to say a little bit about it. I recently finished doing the 30-day vegan challenge. I didn't think I'd have anything to gain from that as a vegan of over 3 years, but I learned so much. It's kind of like when I recently went back to tap class. I know how to tap. I'm a pretty advanced tap dancer, but I still took an advanced beginners class. No, I took a beginner's class, to be honest. And I thought, I'm a beginner. I'll have nothing to learn here. But you know what? That class ended up going over a few things that I never quite learned correctly, or a few things that I needed a little help with. And that's kind of what the 30-day vegan challenge was like for me. Like I learned new things about tofu. Like, oh, right, I only do this with tofu. I never really thought I could do this, that, or the other with it. You know, it taught me kind of more about how to use my Vitamix. It taught me a lot more about how to make it easier for me to work more produce into my diet without adding a lot of extra work. It taught me just so much extra stuff that has already made being vegan easier for me. I've been vegan over 3 years, and it's now easier
But
to be
also,
vegan.
if you don't want to do it yourself, you can give it to a loved one.
Yep, I was just
Or
going to
even
say,
somebody you
I have
hate.
3 friends. Yeah, oh my God, give it to like your beef-eating mother. But no, seriously, give it to someone you know is going to make use out of it. I recently bought memberships for Frosty Flakes, Brian Kalinowski, and Miss Keisha Carr, 2 drag queens and a big gay DJ. I feel like at this point, if you listen to Big Fat Vegan Radio, you know who Brian Kalinowski is, especially if you are Brian Kalinowski. But if you are Brian Kalinowski, do you really know who Brian Kalinowski
Hi,
is?
Brian.
Hi, Brian. Yeah, keep that in mind. Whether you use it for yourself or donate it to a friend, you or them are going to get so much out of it. And I have to say, full disclosure, I didn't even use the whole thing because it's so all-encompassing. Like, there are recipes I didn't even have a chance to try out yet. There are audio podcasts I didn't even have a chance to listen to. There's all sorts of like daily like worksheets you can work through. Like, I probably only did like 1/6 of the whole program, and I already got so much out of it. It's a resource that once you do it, you'll always have it online to refer to. So there's a wealth of information that I now have at my fingertips.
Basically, it's
online,
awesome, and we're really excited to be able to offer it to you.
all in one place.
It's a pretty dope prize.
Beautiful. Yeah, but it doesn't come with any actual dope. If you want that, you'll have to grow your own.
Or you could just buy it.
And not that I smoke it anymore, but I can give you tips on how to grow it your own if you want. Try it. So I never did so successfully, but I tried.
Yeah, of course, as always, you can follow both me and Honey LeBronx on Twitter and Instagram at Laura Yaz and at Honey LeBronx. You can watch the incredibly popular YouTube cooking show at vegandragqueen.com. You can watch the incredibly popular movie review show, 3 Minutes About a Movie, at YouTube/Laura Yaz. You can buy a life-changing blend of essential oils at medievaloil.com. And you can donate or become a member at bigfatveganradio.com. Did we mention that?
Oh, I don't know if we got around. I think we kind of beat around the bush a little bit.
I don't know that we thoroughly explained it.
I do want to say today's quick tip for the medieval oil is just 2 drops of it on your tongue. Swish it around in your mouth. Your mouth will water so much. It's like making your own mouthwash. After I swallow that, I had a large black iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, and 30 seconds after I finished my iced coffee, my breath just went right back to smelling like cinnamon, clove, and lemon. It's redonkulous.
No, it's true. It's a really great breath freshener. I actually wish... I remember you used to have little sample bottles. I wish I had a little sample bottle so I could keep it in my purse as a breath freshener.
I'm right on top of that, Rose. Don't you wish you were Laura Yaz and you just got hooked up all the time with free medieval oil? But yeah, the cool thing about it is you like freshen your breath once and your breath kind of stays fresh all day long. It's kind of scary.
It's pretty great, especially first thing in the morning if you guys just want to get that funk out. Even after you brush and do everything, you're still funky and you do that, it's like...
Here's a free tip that everyone should just know. Even if you don't buy medieval oil, I learned this from being in a relationship for 2 years with someone I lived with. If you want to kiss someone after waking up, but you don't feel like getting out of bed to brush your teeth, if right upon awakening, you just start trying to get your mouth to water, just move your tongue around, brush your teeth with your tongue, get your mouth to start watering. If you keep doing that for 10 or 15 minutes, your breath will clean itself out. Boom. I don't know how it works, but it works.
Interesting. It's been so long since I've been
it.
in bed with anyone, I would not know about those things.
It has been for me literally hours. Hours. Hi, Mom. I hope you're listening.
Yeah, Mom, you can be proud of me. It's been years.
Are we slut shaming? Are we slut shaming?
No, we're not slut shaming. We're shaming me for having no social life.
Did they not carry a banner with my face on it in the slut walk? That's all I'm saying. So anyway, we don't mention this much, but you can of course leave a review for us on iTunes. But if you also go to theveganlist.com, it's kind of like a vegan Yelp that Eric Hoff from the Vegan Bodega set up. Big Fat Vegan Radio is on there as well. And if you could leave us a review there also, that'd be kind of awesome.
Thanks.
As always, we would love to thank Michael Heron, for helping us with our awesome theme song. I will say myself, it's an awesome theme song. You can check out his work at michaelheron.com. And as always, we would love to thank Kelly Huffine for our awesome cartoon and logo and our artwork. You can check out her work at kelly42fox.deviantart.com, which reminds me, Laura, we're not ready yet to really announce this big announcement.
I don't know why you're doing it, but it's cool.
So I'm doing it because I have a condition called impulsivity. But I would like to let you guys know that we're no kidding. Did you just give me a swear word to bleep out?
I sure did.
That is, thank you for the extra work. Coming soon, we don't have this up yet, but we are trying to work on a merchandise, on a merch store for our website so that you can walk around with a Honey LeBronx button, a Laura Yaz button, with little cartoons of us.
This is going to be one of those things
awesome.
where everybody buys a Honey button and nobody buys a Laura button.
Which is fine with me.
Did I complain about this on the show yet? About how after the live show, everybody ran up to me and was like, "Would you take my picture with Honey?"
I assure you, if you let me spend 2 or 3 hours on your makeup,
no, I don't want to do that. Ew.
Well, but I mean, it's only because we're putting 2 or 3 hours into my look that people fall.
Nobody took their picture with me. Nobody, not a single person.
I got my picture with you, live and on stage.
That's true. That's nice.
Beautiful. So, that's all we have today for Big Fat Vegan Radio. Please subscribe to us through iTunes or your podcatcher of choice, and give us, if you go to the iTunes Music Store and give us a 5-star rating and leave us an awesome review, it really helps new listeners to find us.
And be sure to let us know what you thought of this episode on our Facebook page. Send us a tweet or leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Laura.
Have a great day, everyone. And there's one more thing.
Oh, that's right. In addition to becoming a member, you could also go vegetarian! Or I mean, go vegan. Right, go vegan.
Anything you can eat, I can eat vegan. I can make anything vegan, it's true.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Humans can't live on just veggies and berries. Humans need various dairy and meat.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
That's a myth.
No, it's true.
If it's true, how am I still alive?
I can eat a burger.
If you're into murder,
What if it's organic?
you're basically satanic.
You can't say I don't love animals.
Why? Because you have a cat?
Yeah.
Well, how about that?
I gave $5 to Sarah McLaughlin. I'm on the mailing list for NY class.
You're an ass.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
Yes, Wait, what? But I have to listen to my body. What about my cravings, okay? My precious, precious cravings.
Don't make me laugh. You have got to be joking. You must be smoking like Cheech and like Chong.
I don't smoke.
But you smell.
I eat fish.
Go to hell.
But I crave them.
Oh my God, enough with this cravings nonsense. Your body isn't telling you to eat anything. You're just giving it permission to do whatever you feel like, no matter who it hurts, and you're just justifying it with a bunch of pseudoscience so people won't tell you that you're just being a big crybaby. Just grow up. Grow up. If I can go vegan, then anyone else can. Vegan's so easy, bet you could go too.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
I love cheese.
So do I.
But you can't.
Yes, I can.
Wait, you can?
Yes. Oh my, there is so much delicious vegan cheese out there. You think you love cheese now? What have you had? Just cow cheese. Wait till you try cashew cheese, almond cheese, tapioca cheese, oat cheese, nutritional yeast, tofu cream cheese, Daiya cheese, not cheese, mac and cheese.
Yes, I can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can.
Yes, you can. Go vegan. Another parody.
Another vegan parody song. Boom! Who gives more to their listeners than Big Fat Vegan Radio?
Nobody.
Mother Teresa? I don't think so. She's dead. She died before she had a chance to have a podcast. Oh my God, that's actually a real tragedy if you think about it. If Mother Teresa was alive today, she could be a podcaster. I mean, she did so much.
She's a podcaster from heaven now. She's Saint Teresa.
Would you know my name if I podcasted from heaven?
Okay, I'm ending the recording.
You're ending the recording.
Right now. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, end.